Welcome to Cannabis School. I'm your host, Jesse Angeles.
And I'm Brandon Elder.
And we're here to talk to you about everything pertaining to cannabis, from vape,
flower,
edibles,
strains,
and everything in between. Hey, welcome back, everybody. It's been a really amazing time. You know what? Damn it. I did it again. I said amazing. I do that all the time. That's my filler word right now.
That you're over there?
Yeah, it's my over there. For those of us who've been with us since the beginning, oh my gosh, you could have played a puffing game. Like, you got to take a hit off this bowl every time Jesse says over there.
Or I say so, yeah. You might still be able to on that one.
Damn it, Jen. All right, okay. We were blessed. We were able to have quite a few different strains that we were able to procure. And the one we're talking about today, it almost sounds like a creamy dessert.
It kind of does sound like a dessert.
Right?
Yeah.
It's amazing. Brandon, what strain are we talking about today?
Oh man, this strain makes me think of, and I know it's totally different, but those freshly sliced mangoes that you get down in Mexico. You walk up to the stand and they just like cut it up, dice it all up, and sprinkle it with that magical tasty stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what they call it, but
it's like a chili powder type stuff. Yeah,
really good. That's what it makes me think of. But we're actually talking about Tropaya.
Tropaya.
Yeah.
You know what? It reminds me. Do you remember the movie Taken?
Yes.
You know, somebody from Tropaya, right? It's like supposed to be some city over there in Armenia or something. Tropaya. But and if you're Armenian, you're listening to that. If I butchered that one, I have no idea what that is. I think it's a city. Maybe I have no idea, or it's just made up.
Yeah, I was like, I wonder now.
So Tropaya, no, not Tropaya, Tropaya. Tropaya. This is a hybrid, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's an Indica hybrid.
Okay, so Indica leaning. Where does this come from?
It actually comes from Tropicana cookies and papaya. So two really solid strains there. This one only has mid to high teens usually on THC. Yeah. Really,
that's surprising.
Right? For the experience that you get, you'd think that it would be a little bit higher.
Yeah, absolutely. And what Brandon's talking about is, so we partook of this, and it is a very, it's in the middle. It really is a good hybrid because it's heavy in the body, but not like a typical indica. I don't feel it directly in my back. I feel it again like an indica is for me. It's in my chest, but very relaxed, but on point. The percentages make sense now because it is a consistent high, but it's not an overwhelming high.
So I loaded up a bowl for research, and the first two hits really just were the flavor. I didn't experience much of it immediately. I just kind of sat there, and the flavor was amazing. It's so smooth, and just like hints of papaya.
Yeah, I remember when we opened the bag and we smelled it. The nugs, right? The bunches that you get off of the plant, actually what you consume, they were really pungent of this papaya smell. And then when you grind it, the smell dissipates, which is kind of cool that it kind of goes away. But then when you're able to, like, because we had it in a bowl, we've had it in flour, it was just really smooth. Exactly. A light, sweet taste over the mouth. That hint of papaya. If you ever cut a papaya open and just smelled it right from there, it could even be a little hot outside, and that smell just hits you. It's just a very sweet aroma.
Yeah, but mild and sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was like a little bit of berry flavor in there.
Oh, it's got limonene in there?
No, the most prevalent terpene's actually myrcene.
Oh,
in this
wow.
one.
That makes sense. What's this experience I'm going to feel when I start hitting? Is it a quick onset? Is it slow?
Mine was the third hit that kind of slapped me right in the face. I don't know if it was because it was a little bit larger hit, but I started coughing, which is weird because it's a really, really smooth experience.
Right.
But I felt tingling all throughout my face, behind my eyes, and it was about 10 minutes after that I started feeling it settle into the aches in the top of my back.
Cool.
So yeah, those started to like kind of lessen a little bit. And after the fourth hit, and about 10 minutes after that, it started settling into my mid and low back and down into the rest of my body. But it's surprisingly a very focused cerebral high for being,
An indica dominant.
yeah, but it's very creative, like happy, euphoric kind of experience.
Yeah, I feel like it. You could put me on rails, and what I mean by that is like a train only moves in two directions, and that's forward and backwards. And so when you put it on there, I do agree this is a cerebral one, really keeping my thoughts focused, but not so much all over the place. Like whenever I have an indica, it's really hard for like a really strong indica. It's very hard for me to keep focused on anything.
Mm-hmm.
I could play games, but I'm probably going to get bored. I couldn't read a book. I might be able to listen to one, but this one is a very it's an all day strain. I Would you consider this a pain strain? Like you could use this for pain, or is it not strong enough?
Yeah, this is actually great for pain, insomnia, stress, depression, anxiety. It really provides like a stillness in the mind. So you can
Oh, that
have
is
that focused creativity and just kind of really driven.
well, and that makes sense too on the depression side because when you're in a depressed state, you're typically your thoughts always gravitate to the next worst thing and your station and where you're at. But after consuming this, like I've got shit going on right now. You got shit going on,
Yeah.
right? We all do out there. Maybe you lost your job, maybe you didn't get that promotion. Those things can mess with your mind quite a bit, but it's because our minds keep gravitating towards other things that make it even worse. But this would be a great one. That's one of the reviews I read. It's like literally got rid of my depression. Like I feel way better. And that's a pretty cool thing. Now I will say the cottonmouth on this, it's coming on strong.
Yeah, that is one thing I will say. This one has quite a bit of cottonmouth.
And for those who are new to consuming flower or any cannabis whatsoever in any of its forms, expect the cottonmouth, right? It's cool if you don't get it. It's not. I'm not a fan of it. I've never been a fan of it.
No.
It's not like, oh sweet, my mouth feels like sand in it.
I do notice I drink a lot more water though, so maybe it's good for me. But yeah, I don't enjoy the cottonmouth still.
Yeah, it makes sense too because at nighttime, if you consume cannabis, it will dry you out, and you will find that you wake up with a slight headache if you're not consuming a lot of water. I mean,
Oh,
it's like
I don't experience that.
I experience that only if I have a heavy night, like if I'm like 2, 3 bowls, and I'm like, I am toasted, or we're playing video games, and I've got a cart, and I'm puffing on that thing like no tomorrow. Like I'll be like 12 hits in and I'll be plateaued and I can't get any further. I can only imagine with flour and this, it'd just be like, bleh,
Oh, be
bleh,
so brutal.
bleh, or like we're not even playing. Our thumb, we're that character running into the corner in a full sprint, just going towards the corner because we're just out of it. But it's a very good cerebral calming, I would say,
Mhm.
mind calming, not like hyper energy by any means, but it's really good, man. I love the feel.
Such a very happy, euphoric, chill experience. I think calming the mind and the body. It's a great all-day strain.
So is this more of a west or an east, or is it all over?
That's a great question. We're going to find out real fast. This one was tough to find because there's not a ton of stuff even on Tropaya. There is some.
I'm thinking about it because I know we have a lot of East Coast listeners, and they're like, "Gosh, we don't get those strains out there." Which one, totally get it. You're in a place that is not really known for growing really amazing cannabis, but at the same time, I would almost say that the growers out there need to be being able to procure seeds from other places because then you're able to get those, and it would be a
Oh,
different.
I mean, they have Tropaya vape on the East Coast, so it's out there.
That's cool.
Definitely on the West Coast as well. Sounds like Tropaya is one that you can find out on the East as well.
Yeah, it's something I've never heard of before. and it was really, I mean, and describing the nugs on there, they were really tight and small, right? Or were they more popcorny?
It wasn't popcorny, but it wasn't really terribly small. I would say it was like a
good,
an
decent,
average
dense
size nug. Yeah,
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
decently dense though. That one nug gave 2.5 bowls
Yeah.
probably. So it's a good like really dense nug. But the amount of trichomes on that.
Oh, it's
It was
frosted.
dusty as
Yeah, it was really nice. And I recently have made a bigger shift towards just flower instead of extracts or any carts. We'll discuss in a later episode of some of the reasons why. And I don't know. I would really like to try this in a cart. It would be cool to be able to put this into an edible. I've shied away from edibles a little bit more these days. I just don't enjoy the effects that I get from it as much as I used to, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, they don't hit the same as well if you get on a regular schedule with them.
Right.
You can't enjoy an edible experience the same.
No, you really can't. And but again, it's not to say that it can't be. I would imagine that this would be a really good strain infused into like a meal. Some type of
sweet. Oh,
I would almost do a savory.
I was gonna say over a steak, actually.
Yeah, or a pot roast. With put this into like the mashed potatoes, right? Have infused oil or a can of butter. That would be even better, right? So infuse your potatoes, and just make sure that dosage is a little bit is for that batch of potatoes, not a full on batch where somebody's like, yeah, one giant scoop is like, I don't know, 30 milligrams, and you're like, well, and that's per like spoonful. Could you imagine like 2 hours later people yakking, like just too much?
Yeah, when I did one, I dosed everyone's separate, and I was like, all right, how much is yours? And then, all right, this one's 2 milligrams, this one's 10, this one's 8, because everyone's tolerance is just different.
Totally different.
Yeah. I did find quite the enjoyable review from Tropaya.
Nice.
Yeah, it said, from start to finish, it was as if I was partaking in a papaya back in the Caribbean. You open the bag and you can smell the papaya aroma. Even see the color in your mind's eye. Upon ignition, vroom vroom, you taste the papaya in your mouth, feel its fruity flavor envelop your lungs. Then you go on a euphoric Caribbean voyage. The high comes in smooth like the breeze on sunset in Tobago. My pain melted away, and I floated away back to the island.
Shit. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
I could imagine that whole thing in the last part. It's like almost the sun's going down on the water and he's in an inner tube. He's asleep with some sunglasses on, one of those ridiculous hats.
With some Tropaya.
Yeah, he's got a little bubbler right on his chest. That would be amazing, man. I can hear the water.
Super relaxing. One of the most reported effects from this was relaxed and sleepy.
Yeah, I can see that.
A lot of people were saying after about an hour and a half, they went to bed. One of the other reviews, the person was like, yeah, I keep dozing off while writing this. So, maybe if you struggle with insomnia, check out some Tropaya.
Yeah, Tropaya. Well, it's been awesome. I'm glad that we were able to go over this strain. And if you guys have any questions, go ahead and hit us up. We're more than happy. If you've got a strain request, we'd love that as well. Also, go over to our Patreon to be able to support us. $1 helps. We've got some big plans of some awesome things that we want to be able to create for you guys and to just grow this audience bigger and bigger.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week.
Take care, everyone.